welcome to the Jets Pitch In podcast. My name is Trevor Curry. I am hosting my classmate Keegan Combs. Today we will learn how Keegan spent his service hours required for graduation at Adams Central. Keegan Combs, what organization did you work for and what did you do?
I worked with the Indiana BANDITS. They're an organization for baseball for kids who want to get better. For this certain program, it was 12U kids, and I volunteered, coached for these kids, and I helped them with anything they needed baseball-wise.
So what did you help with these 12 and under kids?
I helped in any field, pitching, throwing problems they had, and I really wanted to focus on their attitudes when they played, because I think attitudes when playing baseball or any other sport is really important, and I think if you play with a good attitude, your talent will show better than with a bad attitude.
Okay, and how did that make you feel?
It made me feel accomplished because I think the kids really did get better with their attitude and their skills in the time I did it. Even with the short amount of time I was there, I think they got better significantly over time.
Okay, and what do you think the best part about volunteering was?
Seeing the kids and coaches be happy to be there was probably the best. I think being happy while you play a sport is better than just being good at it. I think that, being happy is the main part of playing a sport.
And in the future, how would you want to see this executed?
I really loved how it was done with the Indiana BANDITS. I don't think I would change much. I think I would go for a little bit longer of time, but other than that, I wouldn't really change anything.
So how many service hours did you complete while volunteering?
I was there for around 10 weekends, and there were 3-hour practices. So I'd say around 30 hours. It felt like shorter than it actually was. Time really passed while I was there.
Were you just at practices, or did you go to games or tournaments?
During December through March, I was only at practices. But this summer, in my free time, I will be going to their games and helping them with anything they need there, especially attitudes, because it definitely changes during games.
Okay, and would you do it again?
I would definitely do it again. I'll probably do it again next year and years after that.
Well, thank you, Combos, for sharing about your freshman volunteer project with us today. And as always, go Jets!
All right, welcome back to the Adams Central Class of 2024 Freshman Project Podcast. You are here with Jackson, the host, Jackson Schoaf, and I'm here with Jack Hamilton. How are you doing today on this fine Friday morning, Jack?
I'm doing amazing. How are you doing, Jackson?
I'm doing pretty good. All right, so I guess I'll just dive into this. We're volunteering this year for our freshman project. And where did you volunteer, Jack?
So I volunteered at the Monroe Ball Diamonds in Monroe.
All right.
In Monroe.
Do you like to, or did you used to play some ball back in your day?
I played baseball from like age 4 to 13.
All right, that's pretty cool. What did you do there?
So I cleaned up all the diamonds because COVID canceled a season. It canceled a season of baseball, so all the leaves that fell off trees and the trash that never got picked up all that, and then all the dirt. I shoveled in new dirt along the fences to make that look more respectable, and the concession stands needed cleaned up, so we cleaned up the concession stands. We just picked up everything, got everything ready to go for this coming baseball season.
Okay, good. I'm sure that those kids will like that. How did you feel when you were volunteering there?
So I felt proud of myself. I felt pretty proud that just to be able to help the younger kids that are gonna come play baseball, because when I played, it was always nice because other kids would clean up the ball diamonds and help it. And then I also felt a lot of like disrespect towards the ball diamonds because people would put their gum under the bleachers. They they'd shove their bottles into places where they could have just put it in the trash can, and then other people had to come pick that up, and they just had to do it. We had to do it instead of them doing it themselves and pitching in towards the effort.
Okay, yeah, cool. Yeah, that's always annoying. Did you work at the playground? Like, you cleaned up there too?
Yeah, we picked up around the playground, picked up the trash, and raked some of the mulch to make the mulch look a little bit better.
All right, so next question. Why did you want to work at the Ball Diamond?
So I wanted to work at the Ball Diamonds because, like I said, I played there. So when I played there, it was always a nice facility. The fields would be picked up. Everything would be nice. And so I felt that it was kind of my obligation to be able to help out the younger kids that are coming to play softball, baseball, t-ball, all the leagues, just make them be able to do better, perform better, and have a nicer place to play.
All right, cool. All right, would you work there again?
Yeah, I definitely would work there again. I felt very proud of myself, and just the feelings that I had, I would 100% do it over and over again.
All right, thanks for talking with us, Jack. This is your episode of the Adams Central podcast. Thank you for being here, Jack.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, that's it.
Welcome to the Jets Pitch In podcast. My name is Trevor Curry, and I'm hosting my classmate Keegan BLUHM today. We will learn how Keegan spent his service hours required for graduation at Adams Central. Keegan BLUHM, where did you go and what did you do?
I went to the Monroe Ball Diamonds, just outside of Monroe, to help clean up the diamonds in the facility to get ready for playing.
All right, and what did you enjoy most about volunteering?
I just like the hands-on work that we do when we went, and I was there with our classmate Jack Hamilton, and we were doing jobs together, just whatever they would tell us to do.
What do you think is something that you gained while volunteering?
The number one thing is like the knowledge of like the placement of where they put stuff at the Ball Diamonds. It's like the layout of the Ball Diamonds, because I never really, like playing baseball, you never really knew where everything was, but like actually working there outside of playing, you get to know where they store stuff for the winter and where all their storage places are.
And who did you specifically help while volunteering?
We helped like the older people that were more in charge of like scheduling the games and everything and getting the concessions ready, because if we can do like the physical side, then that takes away like 4 or 5 hours that they can do like the stuff that nobody else can do.
And do you recommend others to volunteer, and why?
Yes, because it doesn't take much time out of your day, and like for us it was physical activity, so you're getting outside and like doing something active.
What led you to choose to volunteer for the Ball Diamonds in Monroe?
I just played there since I was in T-ball. I think that was like preschool year or something, and I played all the way up till last year, even if it got canceled. But if it didn't get canceled, I was going to play. So I've played since I was in preschool all the way to 8th grade.
How many hours did you volunteer for?
I don't know exactly, but it was like we got there at like 7:30ish, 8, and got home at like around noon. So it was about 4, maybe it was 1, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours.
Do you think you are going to volunteer for these Ball Diamonds next summer, and why?
Yeah, because I have 4 brothers that are still playing for Monroe, and so every year we go and help get the Diamonds ready for the season.
Well, thank you, Keegan, for sharing about your freshman volunteer project with us today. And remember, go Jets.
So this is Wyatt McAfee. What was your service hours?
I served at a wrestling tournament here at AC. I got here at Saturday at about 7:30 in the morning. Asked my coach what I was doing, and they showed me to a ref, and I just sat at a table I couldn't wrestle because it was a varsity-only tournament. So, yep.
Why does the wrestling club need volunteers?
We need volunteers because I kind of didn't want to do it because I wanted to watch my teammates wrestle. So I was like, yeah, might as well do this because no one else is. So.
What do you had to do while you volunteered?
Well, I had to do, so if a ref would throw up a sign and like how much the person scored, I would write it down on a score sheet, and it would be the way, I would write it down the way they scored the points and the amount of scored points.
How many volunteers do you need?
Well, there's 2 people per table, and just however many people. The concessions need, clean up afterwards. Yeah, pretty much as many as we can get.
What did you do when you volunteered?
Well, I just sat at a table all day for 4 hours and kept score for refs. The benefit was that if I got hungry or something, I could go to the concessions and ask for food. They would give it to me. So, yeah.
Is there anything else you have to add?
Just that I've been wrestling for since kindergarten, and I think it's a really fun sport. It's taught me a lot, how to work hard, yeah.
Welcome to the Adams Central Class of 2024 Freshman Project podcast. My name is Zane Bard, and I am hosting my classmate, Braydon Moon, today. We'll learn how Braydon Moon spent his service hours required for graduation at Adams Central. Braydon Moon, what school did you help?
I helped Adams Central Community Schools.
How did you feel while you were helping?
I was super tired because I had to wake up at 6:30 in the morning and be there by 7. And when I got there, they had to do weigh-in, so I had to wait for a while because wrestling started at 9. And when it started, I just sat there kind of bored and grumpy because I just sat there, like, kept all to myself, just ate food and did scoreboard.
What percent of high schoolers wrestle?
Around 3% of high school boys wrestle. I'm not sure about the girls. I really didn't see anything on that, but, not very many girls wrestle. So.
Why would you recommend helping wrestling?
I'd recommend it because it's an all-around good experience with helping sports events and getting to learn how to work scoreboards and everything, so you can just get asked to do it again.
Why would you help with wrestling again?
I would help it again because it was a good time, and just learning how to do it was kind of tricky, but I learned it pretty fast. And the reason I did this is because after practice one day, I wasn't wrestling that day because, I failed one of my classes. But coach, Tony, he came up to me like, since you're not wrestling tomorrow and if you have nothing going on, can you just come help us do scoreboard? And I'm like, yeah, why not? I have nothing else going on. So showed up the next day, grumpy, tired, bored, did my job.
Well, thank you, Braydon Moon, for sharing about your freshman project with us today.
Welcome to the Jets Pitch-In podcast. My name is Nina Schaefer, and I'm hosting my classmate, Trace Sonicson, today. And today we will learn how Trace spent his service hours required for the graduation at Adams Central. Trace, have you done wrestling table working before, and when did you?
No. I've never had an experience to where I've been wrestling, working at table working. Usually I've been doing the wrestling, but I got to see how table working works and what it does, and So now I've never really done any table working before.
How many people are on the BANDITS wrestling team?
In high school wrestling, there are 14 weight classes, and we had all 14 filled up, and then we had a couple extra guys on our JV team, so we had in total around 20 guys on the BANDITS wrestling team.
Did you learn anything from when you were doing your volunteer work? And if so, what did you learn?
I learned a lot of things while doing the table working for the BANDITS wrestling team. One of them was not everything you do is going to be about yourself, and another thing I learned was there's going to be times whenever you don't really have a choice to do something, you just kind of have to go in and do it.
What was one positive thing and one negative thing about your volunteering?
A positive thing I learned and a negative thing I learned. I have a couple. I learned that you have to be kind to people. You have to be kind to what you say and what you do. But the thing about it was it took all day to learn, but I guess some lessons are worth learning. Another thing I learned was, or something positive about my day, was I got to sit with my friends while I did this. So we got to talk all day, and we went and got food and had a pretty good day. But the negative thing was I came in around 6 o'clock that morning and didn't leave till about 4:30.
So, would you ever hope do this again? And if you would, why would you do it?
For this job, this is a hard job. There's a lot of stuff that goes into the scorekeeping, like you have to write down the times, you have to keep track of the numbers, because those numbers are the only thing that you'll have of the history for the match, so you gotta make sure that you get them spot on perfect. So it can be really stressful trying to run the scoreboard the whole entire match and then do that 100 times over again. So I would say this job is very hard, and I'd say it's not for everyone. So I don't know about this job. I just really think that it wouldn't be for me, but I think that having the experience to just try it out before I say I don't want to would be really good.
Well, thank you, Trace, for sharing about your freshman volunteer project today. And I hope you enjoy if you have to do it again.
Welcome to the Athena Central Class of 2024 Freshman Project Podcast. My name is Zane Bard, and I am hosting my classmate Athena SCHWARTZ today. We will learn how Athena spent her service hours required for graduation at Athena Central. Athena, what do you think the benefits of softball and baseball are?
Probably kids becoming coachable and being a team player, and it helps with working with their schedule. They have to figure out how to do certain things without them all colliding. Like, they have to figure out softball or their baseball schedule. They have to fit it into their life schedule, and it could really help with like graduating or being in college or just after college or something like that.
What do you think could get kids to play more?
Probably making it a more of a relaxed place. It is a relaxed place, but like for kids to be able to worry about having fun doing it and not just about being good. Being good is key, and like learning to play, but having fun is probably number 2 priority.
It's been really doing a great job on getting kids to come play.
Every year it has been a pretty great turnout, and a lot of kids have come out, so I would say it's been a pretty good turnout every year.
Would you fill out more tickets? Why not?
I mean, if I really needed to, I would, but it was a hard job. Me and 2 other people sat down at a table for 7 hours and only a 10-minute break, just filling out 8,000 tickets and changing the date. But I'd say it was definitely worth it, because whenever I was on a softball league, we didn't have to pay for anything. We just had to pay for hospitality whenever we would go to tournaments and stuff, because we had fundraisers and it paid for all of it, the jerseys and everything. So it was definitely fundraising is a good way to go, and anything really helps. So.
Why do you think people are spending more time on their devices?
It's really just how like society is now, and it's just really how things are now, and you can basically do anything with the device. So like why would kids want to go outside and do something? But like, it's definitely good to see kids outside like playing sports and doing all that. But kids nowadays are just like insanely focused on social media and how many likes you have, and just like being on their phone all the time.
Well, thank you, Athena, for sharing about your freshman volunteer project with us today.
Welcome to the Adams Central Class of 2024 Freshman Project Podcast. My name is Alicia Stevens, and I'm hosting my classmate Jenna Cook today. We will learn how Jenna spent her service hours required for graduation at Adams Central. Jenna Cook, what did you do?
So, I went to my friend's house to redate all of the 8,000 tickets, and yeah.
Why did you choose to volunteer at the Monroe Youth League?
I chose to volunteer here because I get along with all the people and all the people associated in this organization. They're all kind-hearted and helpful when we needed them to be.
Now, how did you feel?
I felt exhausted because the work was very tiring and overwhelming. Counting tickets for that long is really excessive and just too much work for only 3 people to do.
Jenna, do you think it would be better with or without friends?
It would definitely be beneficial with friends because they did their job as well as I did, and it would take 3 times longer if they weren't there. Us 3 have always been into softball and played for this organization, so it was just really helpful for them to be there with me and help us just get it done all in one day.
Would you do this again, and why?
No, I would not do this again unless they really needed me or they just had no one else to count tickets for them. But I would help them. If it wasn't counting tickets, I would do this again. But it was too much for just 3 people to do. So, yeah.
Great. And would you recommend one of next year's freshmen to volunteer here, and why?
Yes and no. Because it is beneficial for all the young athletes to practice volunteering, but it could put stress and pressure on them and they might not want to volunteer ever again. So one time I was volunteering and it could put stress and pressure on them, and they might not want to ever volunteer again, because when I was volunteering for this, it made me not want to volunteer for anything else again because it was just so stressful and just not very good.
How long did it take you to finish this service project?
It took us 7 hours. We took some breaks, just like 10 minutes, to eat and do whatever we wanted just to get a little bit of break. But yeah, it was just 7 hours.
Well, thank you, Jenna, for sharing about your freshman volunteer project with us today.
Welcome to the Adams Central Class of 2024 Freshman Project Podcast. My name is Savannah Hendricks, and I'm hosting my classmate, Emily Schwartz. Today we will learn how Emily spent her service hours required for graduation at Adams Central. Emily, where did you volunteer at?
I volunteered at Swiss City Dance in Bern, which is a dance studio that offers all styles of dance and tumbling to people 15 months and over.
What did you do to volunteer?
I went in every Tuesday starting in September, and I'm actually going to continue volunteering until the end of June. So I go in every Tuesday from 4:45 to 6. From 4:45 to 5:30, I help with the level 1 ballet class. In that class, I help run bar, warm up, stretching, and I help them learn their dance. From 5:30 to 6, I help with the preschool ballet class, and in that I just help teach them their dance and play dance-related games with them.
Why did you start teaching these classes?
So I love kids and I love dancing. I've been babysitting for a really long time, and I just know kids are a lot of fun. And this is my 9th year dancing, so I have a lot of experience, and I figured it'd be fun to try to help out with other teachers.
How did you feel while volunteering?
I felt really happy and content. The kids, they're always smiling and they look like they're having so much fun. And I know just how much fun they're having because of my experience in dance. And I also felt important because I know I was making a difference in their lives. Because dance and extracurricular activities help people with their social skills. People who are generally like really shy and introverted, being around those other people during those activities, it helps them be more social and comfortable around other people. And those skills help prepare them for the future.
Give an example of how you watch someone become more social.
So this one particular little girl in the level 1 ballet class, her name is Erica. At the beginning of the dance season in September, she was really shy, never talked to anybody, and would just do the dance quietly, not really looking anybody in the eye. More recently now, she's been talking with the other girls, and like when I walk into the lobby at the beginning of the night, she's up and playing games and running around with the other girls. I hope the girls continue to grow out of their shells and keep building their relationships and social skills so they can continue to grow for future success. According to the Illinois News Bureau, students in extracurricular activities are more likely to succeed than those just as smart of them, just because of their better social skills from being in those extracurricular activities and having experience with others.
Well, thank you, Emily, for sharing about your freshman volunteer project with us today.